Mark, at what moment did you discover that you just had to become a musician?
Music was all, I always did music my whole life. My parents are not professional musicians, but they were musicians, and music was all around all the time. I remember um, just always playing something, piano, tuba, guitar, whatever it was. But I think it wasn't until when I was in high school, about my senior year in high school, where I realized that I wanted to do something with music. But I didn't, at the time, didn't want to play music for some reason. I decided I was going to do business. Because I think it was like I was fearful of money, maybe. But I wanted to go into music, but do the business side of music. And so I looked for schools that had that component, the music business component. But then I remember very specifically after my freshman year at college, saying to somebody, all I want to do is play. I don't care where it is. I just want to play. And this was probably the summer after my freshman year in college. And so from then on, it was all like, I had switched my major, not to performance, but to music education, from the music business major that I was doing. And just from then on, the goal was just to play as much as I can, no matter where it was. I didn't have a goal of playing in an orchestra or a band or this or that. I just wanted to play. So I think it was then. So I was probably 19 or something like that.
Right. And what has been your most memorable musical experience?
Um, does it have to be just one?
They can be top two, top three.
Okay. I would say there's a couple for different reasons. I think number one, or in the top three, would be, I used to be involved and direct a brass ensemble here in Washington, D.C. And it was a volunteer group made up of professionals and non-professionals. We did concerts, and we would play occasionally at church services, but the concerts were mainly benefit concerts for charities and things like that. We did a worship service, a church service, one Sunday, and I remember conducting the group and then turning around to get the congregation to sing the hymn that we were doing. And at the time, this was a couple of months after some friends of mine had lost their child. Their infant had died. And I don't mean to bring sorrow into this, but it will get better. And I knew where they were sitting in the congregation, and the song that we were doing was played at the baby's funeral.
Wow.
I turned around and I was nervous because I knew that they were there, and it's a very powerful hymn song. And I turned around to allow the congregation to start, and I saw them out in the audience with their heads just like this,
Wow.
down, and I turned around, and the group was wondering what was going on, because I'm like practically crying.
Yeah.
And it was so powerful, the power of music.
Right.
At that moment, the mother called me later that day and left a message and said, Mark, we've been, these are, very strong belief in God. These people are very spiritual people. They said, we've been praying that we could, we don't know what our daughter has been experiencing in heaven, but today, and I'm getting kind of choked up, but today I think that we got a glimpse of what she's hearing.
Wow.
And it was at that time where I was like, wow, music really has this power. Whether it's a spiritual thing or not, I'm not saying either way, but that was a huge, and it sticks with me all the time. And and then another experience, and sort of less sort of powerful like that, but still to me, was the Marine Band played their 205th anniversary concert with John Williams conducting. And we played at the Kennedy Center with him conducting all new arrangements of his music for band. And to sit up there under John Williams and play all that music, I mean, just brought the hair on the back of my neck standing up the entire time. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So that was a playing experience that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think another one is I got a chance to play second tuba with Mike Roylance with Boston on Symphony Fantastique a number of years ago, and walking out with Seiji Ozawa conducting, and that was amazing. You know, just going out there and sitting with that group and playing. So there's like the two sort of playing experiences that I had, and then there's the one conducting experience.
Yeah.
So.
And what motivates you to go back on stage every week?
Live music to me is incredible because anything can happen, and I love collaborating with other people on a stage for an audience because they're there. We are creating this thing. We're creating something in front of other people, whether it's a band concert or a chamber music concert. I love the act of collaborating with people, creating this thing in front of people and having them enjoy it. And I mean, I think that's why I just want to keep on doing it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And do you think right now we're kind of headed in the right direction or maybe a wrong direction, maybe with my generation in terms of live music? Do you think we're seeing live music less and we're just kind of sticking to recordings or iTunes or Spotify, or do you think we're actually doing more live music now?
Do I think that people are seeing more live music now, or do I think that we need to be, or there's less of it going on?
Well, do you think we're headed in the right direction? Or are we headed backwards?
I think that people are going to live music less.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're maybe going in the wrong direction. I think that, and I don't know whose fault it is, whether it's the musical group's fault in their programming or in their outreach, or whether we're just becoming more individualistic, where we're getting all of our music from a computer. But it may be a combination of both. Yeah. So, I mean, I know that audiences have been going down, so it doesn't seem like a good direction to me.
And that's also with the Marine Band. Is there less audience now than?
Well, when we go out on the road, I don't see less audience. We get huge audiences out on the road. Here in town, I'd say it hasn't gone down too much, but it also hasn't gone up. We do some concerts where it feels like there's less people there, but that sometimes depends on what we're playing or the day that we're playing it. So.
And what do you think music organizations can do better to get this audience to grow their own audience?
I think it's in education. I think that education of the audience. So I think it starts really young, educating kids and teenagers and college students and 20-somethings, and in just how to consume music. I think that we need to be able to. I think our music education system in this country is flawed. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But I think that if there's more educational outreach to young people, then I think that'll grow the audience. But I think we also need to educate the professional musicians on how to do that, because I think that we are trained, especially large group musicians are trained for it to be about us. And so in college, you're playing this and this and this, and you got to play this, and you have to do better, and and all this kind of thing. But it's never about the audience.
Right.
I don't think. I was never taught how to relate to an audience, or how to go out with a small group and do a concert for a small group of people, or patrons of an orchestra, so to speak. It's all about being up on the stage and presenting yourself. So I think there's two things. I think education of young people, and then education of the musicians we already have to reach out.
Okay.
And to gather people and to bring them in. Our culture is so, why are rock musicians so loved? Because people think to themselves, I want to be like that person. I can do that. I think that's what we need to be able to do as classical musicians, is somehow draw people in to where they were like, I want to be like that. Maybe I'm not going to become a professional, but I really admire these people. They're at my level. I could do that sort of on, I can maybe do that as an amateur, but I also really sort of respect what they do.
Yeah. And do you think orchestras can learn something in the way that the Marine Band runs? Is there something that orchestras are doing or is there something that the Marine Band is doing that is much maybe more organized or more efficient than orchestras?
I don't know.
Because I imagine the Marine Band is pretty tightly run. I mean, it's the military. You hear at this time. I mean, I'm sure. I feel like financially the budget is very cut and dry. What's allowed, what's not allowed, and I'm wondering if orchestras could benefit from maybe that kind of strictness. What do you think?
It's a really good question. I've never thought about that before. It's very different, because they don't have to pay us more to do more things, right? We're on a salary that says, you do what we tell you to do when we tell you to do it, no matter whether you're playing 5 concerts in a day or 1 concert in a week, that kind of thing. So it's hard to say, how an orchestra could learn from the Marine Band because of how different that is, because of the money situation. I mean, you'd have to really, if the orchestra is going to play, like we go out and for a month, we take groups out and we do concerts in schools, but that doesn't cost the Marines that much more money. It would cost an orchestra quite a bit more money.
Right.
Our concerts, we do very serious music concerts, but we also do a lot of patriotic things, a lot of things around different ceremonial holidays and things like that. I hesitate to say that orchestras need to cater more to their audiences or pander to their audiences more, because I think that's dumbing down the music. Now, I don't think the Marine Band does that, but we also have a different mission, so we do play a lot of music that average person in America loves to hear, but we also include really good band music and transcriptions. But as far as the way the band runs, I don't know how orchestras could do differently or do it the same way that we do it, because I think it wouldn't financially work out for them.
Right.
I don't think it's necessarily more efficient, necessarily, but it's hard to say what that would be. I'd have to really kind of do a little more thinking about that.
Well, we have exactly 1 minute left.
Oh.
Now, do you have any advice to young musicians today?
Practice.
Practice? Yes, of course.
If you love music, then do it. I mean, don't do it because you think you should. Do it because you love it.
Right.
And work hard at it.
Great. Thanks, Mark.
Sure.